Welcome to the Pint Size Podcast. We rolling. It's Blue Just Train, and I'm here with two of my favorite people, two of my favorite persons, and somebody else. So let's do it like we do it. Who first?
Hi, it's Q. Back in the place to be, ready to have something to say.
Did you bring your bag today?
I'm always in my bag and I can't get out. I'm in my bag and I can't get out.
Okay. Sir?
Oh, you know, man. I'm in here, baby. Donovan Boyd, the marketing coach, live and direct. I made it through the storm, baby. Houston, Texas.
Made it through the storm, though.
H-Town stand up.
He got a haircut, so he feeling himself. That's what's going on.
It's about a week old.
I don't know. Last time I seen you, bro, you was looking like Scrabble McRuffins.
It's all good, man. My beard products is working.
What's up, P? How you doing?
Hi, I'm Paris. I guess I'm a special guest.
Nah, you just here. You ain't really.
I'm just here, whatever you want to call it. I am present.
Welcome to the show, Paris. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Give my little opinion on
From the Pint Size Welcoming Committee. I'd like to welcome you. You can stand up, share your home church, whatever it is that you like to do. You can scream, shout. You can praise the Lord, whatever you feel, whatever the Lord puts on your heart. Let him use you.
From the welcoming committee.
Let him use you.
He's gonna give you a little card for you to fill out on your way out the door.
Yes, thank you.
Come on back. So, boy, you mentioned making it through the storm. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what happened here, right? I'm gonna tell you what happened. Remember about a week, 2 weeks ago, Q, when we was talking about how cold it was here and the snow came down. Remember what he said?
Oh, he bragging, son.
He was bragging. So Pete, he lives in Texas, right?
Oh, okay.
And it was a couple weeks ago when we got snow again, like real bad. And we was talking about how cold it was. It was like 11 degrees or something, the wind chill. And he was like, well, I live in Houston, so,
It's 69 here.
degrees. See, you remember it too? It's 69. You know what happened, right? The whole city got shut down. I was like, see? That's what happened.
Hey man, don't put me in a box, man. I'm bi-coastal. I live a couple places. I'm bi-coastal. So, hey.
You went bi-coastal for them 2 days when it was snowing down there. Y'all had no power.
For sure. Yeah, man. It was kind of a weird situation down here. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen in the news. I'm pretty sure it's still going on in the news about, what's going on down here in Texas. I think it's more political than anything, right? It's very political versus it just being about the weather, right? This is a money situation of, not wanting to spend the proper money to handle certain situations like this. And, it's a lot of different things going on. And a lot of finger pointing, people placing the blame on, the political figures, the energy companies and stuff like that. So it's a lot going on.
Well, your senator he went to
he was in Cancun, right?
Cancun. It started snowing. He said, "Bye,
I'm out of here." Yeah, so they're asking him to resign. And then one of the mayors in Texas, he resigned as well too. So you got some people stepping down, and they want the senator to step down. But
I ain't quitting my job for y'all.
But Texas is so big, and everybody's getting hit differently. So everybody's seeing all these different images, and I'm getting calls, man, you good. And really, it wasn't that bad in certain parts of Houston, whereas like Dallas and Austin, them guys were completely under snow. It really looked like, Cleveland or, looked like Colorado, the type of snow they had in those parts. But it's just weird, man, because, it really wasn't nothing that I haven't seen before, or nothing we couldn't deal with. I think it was just the power, the power being out, and then the water going out. So just those things, and just seeing that they wasn't set up for, this type of disaster. I mean, you see hurricanes, you see it gets hot, but what the issue is, their power lines and the plumbing, those is kind of, which is weird, but it's kind of set up for massive heat. It's not set up for cold, right? So, with us being out of power, they like the lines is freeze. I'm like, it's not even, how does the line freeze in 20-degree weather, right? You really see that when it's below, you know what I'm saying? Like 28 degrees, 30 degrees is cold, but it's not that cold, you know what I'm saying? And then the trees freezing and falling. So it's just that the city really, the grid went out. The state is not prepared to handle this. And in order for them to make the transition, it's going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars that they don't really want to spend to get this, get the grid, to get the state in a position to handle this type of weather.
I guess for me, what I don't understand is how places like Texas, Atlanta aren't just prepared just in case it happens. I know it's a rarity, you know what I mean? But it's happened enough that you would think that they would at least just have something in place just in case. I mean, I get it. It probably is a lot of money and upfront, but come on, man. How much money was really lost shutting down everything? Y'all ain't had no power. Oh, that's just, to me, that's just nuts.
And lives was lost. And so the big thing is, if people you look at, people freezing to death, and it was a lot of tragedies. The hospitals were shut down, so it was a lot going on. And you just look at something small that you might, up north you see as normal, right? Salt trucks. Yeah, that's normal. That's a normal job, right? That job down here doesn't exist. They don't even have salt trucks. There's not a salt truck driver. That position does not exist in the South. Whereas that's a normal position up north, whether it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. If it's a storm, you're going to hear them salt trucks and them plow trucks out here. That doesn't exist down here. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why the roads are shut down, because there's no salt trucks, there's no plow, and there are a lot of overpass that don't have high barriers. So, there's a risk for people sliding off the ledge and stuff like that. So the city's just not set up.
So you live in the South.
To handle that.
Yeah, you live in the South. That lets me know that.
But they freak out down here, man. It's so crazy. Like it's really literally panic. I'm talking about lines to get into the grocery store. Like,
yeah, I believe it.
You know what I'm saying? Like lines to get into the grocery store. Like everybody shutting down. No food on the shelves. It was bad here, man. They had people lined up getting water out of outside spigots. It's just so I would just encourage people to really, look it up, Google it, and just see the different images and see what's going on. Because, going through it, it was definitely something to see.
I'm just glad. I'm sorry for the people who lost their lives. I'm just glad that you guys are safe. And some of my other, loved ones or friends that are in that area. I haven't got any reports about, anybody that I know close to home kind of checking out or being badly injured. So I'm just glad you guys are good. That you guys were able to literally weather that. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully life can kind of get back to normal for you.
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, for sure. So it's still February, guys, which means two things. One, it's still Black History Month. So we want to make sure that we're doing our due to highlight the important things going on in Black history that happen actually every day. And then two, we still in our love month. You know what I mean? February, we all know Valentine's Day was the 14th, and we want to continue the love month. We took a little slight intermission, but we be back to it. Q, this is the time that you do what you do.
Hello, everyone. This is Q with the little known Black History fact.
Oh, my God.
My reporter voice. So the little known Black History fact goes to Valerie L. Thomas, who was a Black American scientist and inventor. So Valerie invented the illusion transmitter, which is a device that simulates a real-time three-dimensional viewing of an object through an optical illusion with parabolic mirrors. So she used to work for NASA. She started working for NASA as a data analyst, and then she invented this transmitter. So she's responsible for the reason why we have 3D movies. So thank you, Valerie, for your contribution.
Shout out to Valerie and her contribution.
Our pleasures. So she's still alive. She's 78, and she lives in Maryland. So shout out to Valerie, being so smart.
The queens be holding it down, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Period.
Shout out to our
Dope.
Shout out to our sisters. So guys, I read this interesting, what I found personally interesting. I was just kind of on, I don't know what I was on, Instagram or something, and I was scrolling and I came across the Shade Room did a interview on Sierra and Russell Wilson. I don't know. They've kind of become like one of the more respected Black couples in the industry. Yeah, they like couple goals. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people see them as relationship goals. But during this interview, they were talking to Russell and Sierra. They were playing that game where it's like, what's you guys seen a game where it's like, who eats more food? And they point at each other, or like who, whatever. So they start off playing that game, and they were pretty much in sync with their answers. And then they went a little off cue and was like, well, what is your biggest fear? So during the interview process, Sierra thought that Russell Wilson was going to say losing, which he did, right? She was like, yeah, I know you hate to lose. And he was like, yeah, I do, but my biggest fear is not losing a game, is losing you, right?
So actually, he said,
yeah.
Actually, she answered the question correctly and said not being prepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, well, actually, my biggest fear, and then she spelled it out, and she said she spelled out losing, right? So, and it was him, biggest fear is losing her. Right,
exactly. So this brings me to this question, guys. And I want to know how, I'm so glad P on here and Q. We got a nice little mixture of people today, right? What are your biggest fears in your relationship, or fear, if you guys are willing to even be that transparent today? Shoot, any one of y'all. Y'all ain't got to look at each other.
I mean, it's a whole bunch of them.
Okay, well, give me one. Give me one.
That I'm married and my husband cheats on me and have another kid.
So which part is the fear, the kid or the cheat?
Both.
The whole scenario, the debacle of it all. Like, what am I supposed to do? Now I have to make these decisions that it's, I guess, the decisions. Like, my life is ruined. What I thought my life was going to be is ruined by your poor choices.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay.
Because that kid, F these kids. And that kid didn't even do nothing to me. You know what I mean? Like, that's your initial reaction is, I don't care about that kid, you know, but
the child is Christ-like. It's still, I would never swallow that pill. That's an immediate exit.
You out?
I'm out, yeah.
You out?
I'm definitely out.
So let me ask you a question. So let's play devil's advocate, right? So let's say that you're married and you have a kid with this individual, and that person, you know, steps out and ends up having another kid. You still out?
Wait, if I had if
that don't make a difference.
What?
I think it does.
He can still be daddy.
I'm not saying that you might not make the same decision, but I think that you still weighing certain things. Man, Charlie. I think kids always make decisions more difficult. Period.
They do. That's why I tend to not. I mean, I'm not against dating people that have children, but I kind of stray away from those people just because at the end of the day, like at the top of the pyramid, it's gonna always be your kids and, you know, like your family. So it's like when you're trying to have like another relationship with another person, it can get kind of, I don't know. I feel like the balancing act of like trying to balance a relationship and you have kids, it just gets too much.
Well, Paris, you know you ain't no spring chicken no more, right?
I'm not
so, you know,
with no
all I'm saying is the older you get, the more difficult it is to find someone without children. That's all I'm saying.
Listen to that.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I'm talking to you too.
Settle. He said settle.
I didn't say settle. You could find someone who provides you with everything that you need and that you're looking for in a relationship.
Right.
And if they had a kid, right, they do 10 out of 12 things right?
I have friends who are with people who do have children and their relationship works. Like, I'm not saying I'm against it, but I just feel like for me, it just gets
as a preference.
Yeah, like, but I'm not against it. I would not just hold that against a person. Like, oh, you got kids? Oh, nah,
yeah, it's a wrap.
I'll take it there. But I would prefer to like go through that experience of having kids and doing all that with us doing it for the first time.
Heard. So while you on that train, what's your biggest fear in a relationship?
My biggest fear is dating someone that, like, I guess falling for, like, what do they call that? Potential. Like, sometimes when I see people dating people, they're like, oh, well, he's gonna be this or he's gonna do that. And not to say you gotta come into a relationship ready-made, but I feel like some people are a little deceiving. Like, they come off real strong, trying to, you know, impress you, and then y'all get close, y'all get together, and then they fall off. And you be like, where is that same energy you came into it with? So, I don't know. I guess for me, it's just like, just being with somebody that I don't necessarily want to say better than me, but I just feel like someone that's like not ever in a settling type of mode. Like,
you want somebody to help you level. You want somebody to help you level up.
Like I'm not a complacent person, so I guess complacency and lack of potential.
So can I ask this question? On the relationship side, right?
Right.
Is our or what's the correct word?
Whatever you want to say, just make sure you answer this question because I want to hear your answer too. But go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like that's that's a complex question, but no, yeah, I'll definitely answer it. But it was along the lines of because what Paris said, talking about potential and things of that nature, right? It seems like we have, like, on the time frame, like we have a clock that's ticking that is almost an unrealistic clock when it comes to relationships. And I think that we don't allow ourselves, I think we miss out on people because we have an unrealistic clock that is ticking I feel like, when it comes to relationships, right? And we're looking for, I feel like we're looking for things that may or may not be there at that given moment, but that doesn't mean that that person, you know, can't be a good mate. I just think that we're looking for something, or we're highlighting things that, to me, be unrealistic at times.
That is true. I mean, I feel like also, like, too, like, people just, for me, I've found, like, my biggest thing with relationships is the communication aspect of it. Like, I feel like relationships don't just make you happy, they make you conscious of things about yourself. And some people aren't ready not to change in a sense of, like, change to, like, be with that person, but change to be better. Like, I can't get with a person that just be like, oh, I didn't call you all day, oh, my bad, and don't even take into consideration how that made you feel, or, you know, like, or not communicating, like, oh, my day got a little busy, this is what I had going on. Like, I don't know, like, it just seemed like in this day and age, communication sometimes be so shot. And I think it's partly because how social media is, like, we're moving so fast on IG, on Facebook, on all types of different platforms, and we're not really doing that, like, one-on-one engagement.
Right. And the reason why I asked that, right, is I can just say from my own relationship, right, who I was at 23 years old and who my wife was at 22 years old is not the same person or people that we are now, right? And it is easy to exit because we're not being realistic, right? I don't feel like we're being realistic when it comes to relationships, right? At 22 years old, you shouldn't be thinking about marriage. At 23 years old, you shouldn't be thinking about these different things, because really that is the time for you to be figuring out yourself, establishing a career, all those different things. And when you're thinking about relationships and you putting so much heavily on relationships at that moment, I think that you make premature decisions, you exit quickly, and so on and so forth, because I just feel like it's not the right time. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if that's fair to say though.
Yeah, like
I think that's too general. Like you can't really put a timeline on where people are with themselves. I know some people who got married when they was 18 years old and they're still married to this day and thriving. I know some people who got married when they was 30 and they're not even in relationships anymore. So
yeah, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying
clarify.
I'm not saying that you're gonna not make it. Me and my wife is still married, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
you
is,
shouldn't be thinking about that at 22 and
That's
23.
that's what you said, right?
yes, because you can put, if you fall in love and those things happen, that's great. But you put a lot of pressure on yourself at a young age that doesn't necessarily need to happen at that age, right? So
Why not,
if you,
That's what I'm saying though. I
so
think
like,
that you,
okay, so let me clarify. So Q, if you graduate, if you say, for example, was in high school and got your cosmetology license, right? And you can really just be getting into the world, right? Where you 18, 19, you doing hair, you making money, you doing hair, you making money, you might got your own place, so on and so forth. But there's another 18-year-old that's in college. So if he can meet you, but you might feel like, man, he on games. It's just your path that you might have took. You might be a little farther along. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
I hear what you're saying. I don't think you understand what we saying.
No, I'm saying if you potentially about to say, I'm about to go to high school, I'm about to leave college and go be a doctor, right? Well, I'm going to be in school until I'm almost 30 years old. You really don't have the time or the capacity to be juggling a relationship.
Hold on. So, bro,
and trying to become
I hear
a
you.
doctor.
I think we all hear you. I think this is the
That's not
problem,
what
though.
you
This is
said.
the problem. You can't make a statement that general specific for everybody. That's what I'm saying, though.
No,
Like,
nothing is specific
Yeah,
or general, but I see it so many times because you have so many people that's been in a million relationships between the age of 18 and 35. And you might get somebody just hitting their stride or figuring out who they is at 35. But you'd have been in 10 relationships. They was never gonna work.
I'm not saying what you
said.
said.
Be the person that you've been dealing with, not necessarily the fact that you are 22 or 23. I don't think that the age matters. It's like we're just not compatible people at this time. I'm trying to work on my career. You want to kick it. You're just not the person for me right now.
Right. I think age plays a big factor in that.
No,
I don't think it's age.
35 years old and it's 40-year-old.
I don't think it's age.
Don't have a clue.
Yeah, I don't think it's age.
I do.
I think it's mindset.
Yeah,
and mindset can come.
Like
It's individual, but mindset also comes with age, experience. Your mindset is shaped. Your mindset is also shaped by your experiences, where you are in life, so on and so forth.
True and false, bro. True and false. That's true and false.
Like I know two people, one of my friends that are both the same age and both live like total, like for them to be 34 and 35 years old, they're nowhere near each other. Like one of them is, still trying to figure out his life, has a roommate, trying to save, do this and that one. And then my other friend is like a real estate investor, buying all these properties, about to build a whole apartment complex. And it's just like they're literally, the same age, but their mindsets are totally different. Like
for sure.
A real estate dude, he like, yeah, this is what I want to do with my life. My other friend, like, I'm not really sure what I'm doing with my life. I'm gonna just float it out. So I guess it is like you said, a mindset. And it's also too maturity, because some people, don't have that go get it grind mindset. Some people are like, oh, I'm gonna just wait to see what happens. Some people are like, no, I'm gonna go make it happen. So I don't know. I guess when you know what you want, you gotta
it's funny, like when you hear people say, like if you talk about somebody that's like in their 20s and like an older person, like, oh man, you a baby, man. You got so much to learn and so much to go. But then that same person be like, I ain't no damn baby. Like, I'm grown out here. I'm this, that, and the third, right? Because when you get old, when you older, And then you look back like, man, I was young, dumb, like a baby. You know what I'm saying? It be like the perspective at the, you know what I'm saying, at the certain times. Like, so to answer your question, Blue, I think my fear was different in my 20s than it is now.
I'm talking to right now.
Right.
Right now,
Right,
Donovan. I don't care about the 20-year-old.
I'm saying we're in a relationship, bro. I've been married going on 12 years. So
for sure.
So what I'm saying is my fears have changed.
So what is your fear
in
now?
my relationship?
So what is
it? I think now I don't necessarily really have I think always you never want to lose your mate, right? So I think that's I think that goes for not saying like I've never wanted that, never wants that. That'll never change. You know what I'm saying? But I think early on, I think the fear was just not being ready, taking on a task that you necessarily don't have to take on at such a young age because you put so much pressure on yourself. Like there's a lot of pressure in trying to be this perfect person at a young age. You know what I'm saying? And nobody can say the perfect person, but I think I think the fears is just making the right decisions and making sure that, we don't like distance ourselves and fall away from each other because we've been together so long. That's my fear, like falling out and falling away from each other, wanting to stay in line and being with each other and staying and look like, so that to me, that's that fear.
So let me ask you a quick question before we pivot to the next question. Would you say that, say you were about to get married right now, say you aren't married yet and you're about to get married right now, and then you were about to get married at 22, would you say that there's less pressure and expectations on you at 30 something to coming into a marriage as 20 something? Because
for me 1000%.
So
1000%. 1000%.
1000%.
1000%.
Okay.
Michael Blue, what's your fear?
I personally think that at 22 and at 35, if you're coming into it, the expectations at 35 honestly are probably higher than 22, I think. I mean, you beat yourself up because you're trying to figure out life, but at 35, 36, however old, you should be coming into the game with something of value, and the expectation should be higher to take the next 30 something years of your life somewhere different. At 20, y'all both probably trying to figure it out together because y'all kind of in the same space. But at 30 something, y'all both should be bringing some stuff to the table and be like, okay, how we about to level up? So I think the expectation, I think you can stand more as an independent individual at 30 something, but I think I know I haven't been married before, but I think the expectation is probably still harder, honestly. I think it might be harder in your 30s.
No, I think the expectations are the same. I think for me, the expectation I feel like doesn't change, but I feel like the pressure and being equipped to handle the expectation is different at 22 than it is at 35. I'm more equipped at 35 than I am at 22, but I still have the same expectation at 22. Right. Which makes it damn near not impossible, but it makes it very much harder because you're not equipped to handle what you're getting into versus at 35. And I'm speaking from an individual standpoint.
Right. I got a question for my ladies, right?
Oh, your fear first. Your fear.
You pointing at me?
Yeah, you in the top right quadrant. Your fear before you go on.
Paris is in my top right quadrant. You talking to me?
Yeah, you. Yes,
oh,
you.
Okay, me.
Say what your fear was.
Yeah, I apologize. So my fear for me is I have trust issues with people. It stem back from just sad Black American dad story. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what my dad did to my mom. So so for me, it's giving someone all of my trust and then not being able to trust them back. So it's just a fear. It's a fear of trusting for me. And that's something that like I've been consciously like putting things in practice to overcome it. I'm not 100% past that thing, but I'm way further past it than I was 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So like, I could build a foundation off of that. So just the giving and take.
That makes sense. So you and also too, like trusting somebody with you. I struggle with that because I'm like, I don't know if you can love me properly or if you are capable of taking me on. So I don't be wanting to put all of me on the table either, because I'm just like, I always be having like one little foot out the door.
I think that goes back to that communication thing that you said. People need to know your expectations. And I think a lot of people come into relationships. I know I have, and I was never putting my expectations on people, and people were never giving me the expectations. We just expected to like make relationships work. And that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, why the hell wouldn't we talk about what we want? That shit dumb. Like, to not do that. You know what I mean?
Right. That is true.
So
we want to.
Q.
That's true too, Q. Yeah.
Q, Paris.
Trying to figure it out as we go.
Yes.
Can you have successful friendships with the person of the opposite sex in a marriage or a relationship?
I can. I don't know about. I can for sure.
Paris?
I'm not like I don't think that I'm like a jealous person, but I do feel like if my mate makes me feel comfortable with this relationship that he has with like whoever the girl is, it's not a new girl that's coming in. Like, we work together now. It's a new broad that's going to be your friend all of a sudden. We ain't doing that. But a girl that once we got together, like y'all might have grew up together, anything like that. Like, if you only can talk to her on the phone in the car, or if you can't talk to her, or she can't be invited to the cookouts, or like why she can't come around. Now, I feel like it's his job, my significant other's job, to make me comfortable with it. But now, if you acting like real sneaky with it, what is this about? So yes, but I think it's a layered scenario.
I mean, I can agree with that. That's like, I feel like if that's your friend, then she our friend in that sense. Like, you should be able to, like, I have friends who I hang out with, and some of them are male, some of them are female, and they bring their girlfriends with them, and their girlfriends are cool. So if it's that type of situation, then we all gonna be friends. Now, if we all can't be friends, then that don't need to be your friend. Like, I feel like that's where it's a no for me, because it's just like.
Yeah, I think that's a.
So what if it's somebody you smashed back in the day? A long time ago, y'all legitimately cool, but you smashed a homie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I have.
Blue, I feel like you asking a backwards question.
Say it again, brother.
I feel like you're asking a backwards question.
Okay, explain.
So like you asked Q, would she have a problem having a friendship? And like she said no, but then she went to talking about the significant other relationship.
The question is, can you have a relationship with people? Like, can you and I be friends even though you're married?
Right. So that's not necessarily a question for us. That's a question for the mate. Because I think I think it's a question for the mate. Just like you said, if it's a new friend, then you ain't having that. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like a question for the mate, I feel like. It's like a backwards question, or it's like a double-sided question. I think it's like a double-sided question.
Okay. I see what you're saying, but just imagine yourself.
So what I'm saying is,
would you be okay with your spouse having a friend of the opposite sex? I'm asking you. We can't ask the person who ain't here. I'm asking you guys. Is you cool with Dom having homies from back in the day?
And so that's a different question.
Same question.
That's the same question.
Same question.
All right, I'm gonna step out the question. It's a different question.
Okay.
No, it's not.
What's your answer?
If people from the opposite sex have friendships, that's the basics of the question.
Right. So then,
your wife have friends that's males. Can you have friends that are female? It's the same question.
It's not the same question. Because so what I'm saying is, if me and you are friends, and I say yes, okay, so Blue, yes, me and Quana can have a friendship. So that's answering your question. But if my wife isn't comfortable, then me and her can't have the friendship. It's not a one-sided question. It's not a one-sided question. So
Okay, bro.
If your mate is,
you making this
we're talking about relationship.
I think you making it a little too deep. Slow down. So look, can Dom have friends the opposite sex of you? Can she have a personal relationship with some guys? Be cool, talk to on a regular basis. Like, are you okay with that?
All right, so you're asking me.
Yes, you. Are you cool with that?
Now you see that we're talking different questions. I'm not going to agree with you. This is two different questions.
I'm not trying to argue that, bro. Just answer the question.
I'm not arguing. It's two different questions.
So answer the question I'm asking you.
Answer the other question.
So it depends, like Quana said, it depends on the relationship. If it's somebody she grew up with, if it's somebody you just met, it's two different questions.
Bro,
it's not the same question.
I need you to give an answer,
it's
bro.
just a layered answer. It's not a simple answer. It's the same
It's
question.
It's not
yes
the same
or no answer. It's a situational answer.
There you go.
Basically.
Because
Yeah,
it's two different. Because it's a double-sided situation. It's not an easy question like Blue's asking. Yes or no? No, it's not. It's not an easy question like that.
It's situational. So
Yeah, it's situational.
Blue's point of like having friends that you have slept with in the past. Can y'all be friends? Yes, I feel like I've had male guys that I dated and we're cool now. Now, if I decided to bring my future boyfriend or somebody into it, of course I'm gonna tell them, yeah, this is somebody I used to talk to in my past. We cool now. Now I guess for me it's a comfortability with your partner if they feel comfortable enough or trust you enough to be like, okay, that can be your friend. Or some people are like, nah, if that's your ex, y'all smashed, I ain't with it. I feel like at that point you gotta make that decision together as a couple if that's gonna be acceptable or not. Some people aren't super tight about stuff like that. Like I know I'm not, depending on how complex the relationship was, but if it's somebody you just, not to say, I guess, pass and smash, or you kind of talk to them a little bit, but it wasn't that serious, but y'all cool, okay, I'm cool with that. Like, nah, are y'all gonna be hitting each other up all the time? No, I don't think that's necessary, but if I'm not gonna be all like, oh, I don't want to be around her, I can't look at her. I mean, I'm gonna be cordial, hi and bye, but I'm not gonna be that girl's best friend. No.
So guys, so let's say this, right? Say your best friend is a female or male, whatever, what I'm saying, sexual orientation, you are the opposite, right? And I'm talking about, this is your dog, been there with you through the thick and the thin. You've been able to call them when you've been in situations, cried with each other, all this, what I'm saying? I'm talking about best friends, like, what I'm saying? But it's one of them situations where you was like, okay, this is my best friend, but we would never be intimate. But now you're getting married and you're bringing somebody else into the picture, and that person is like, no, I ain't comfortable with that. I ain't comfortable with that. How would you deal with that?
If your relationship started with your best friend and they knew about your best friend coming into the relationship and how close y'all were, I don't think that should be a nah type of situation, because you already knew like the type of relationship it was coming into our relationship. So, and if it's strictly friend, and like that's like I have a best friend I've known since 9th grade, and if I decide to date somebody, I'm not gonna cancel my best friend just because my boyfriend say, oh, you canceled because I don't want you around her. Like,
I ain't talking about your boyfriend. This is somebody that you about to marry and live your life with. And
my best friend is gonna be best friends with my best friend.
People change up though. So you know how relationships go. Something that somebody might have been comfortable with in the beginning, they flipped the script on you and was like, we going through a little rocky time or something. And right now, me and our communication ain't the best, but you and that person's communication is A1. You know what I'm saying? I ain't feeling that relationship no more. Like, what do you do when it gets sticky like that?
I ain't canceling my best friend. I'm sorry.
I think that's it. I think it goes in a situation. Or back to what I was saying, it has a lot to do with that other person. It's not solely about you. It's about that other person. It's about your mate. Your mate can have insecurities. Your mate can have different things that make them don't be comfortable with you having, a relationship with somebody else, right? So a lot of that has to do with, your mate. You know what I'm saying? The person that you with, because you can be fine, but if that person, if your potential spouse doesn't doesn't value that relationship or have insecurities that can't allow them to see that relationship, then it's going to be a butting heads. It's going to be an issue. So you have to figure out, you know, what relationship means more.
I was saying that I feel like that's selfish to me. You know what that person means to me. You know how tight me and that person is. I mean, God forbid, you know, the marriage don't work out or that. Like, I feel like friendships tend, you know, to be life-standing things. I'm sure you got friends that you've been friends with since childhood, and then your wife just come out of nowhere like, oh, you can't be cool with him no more. I mean, depending on the situation of what that person did, I get that. But if that person is strictly playing a supportive friendship role, I don't think it ever needs to be an issue of you got to like choose like, oh, you know, like you can't talk to that person no more, or we can't be together. Like, I just like that shouldn't even be a conflict. Like, because I'm pretty sure, you know, some of your friends that you're really cool with, your wife is really cool with them as well. So to me, it just seemed like everybody just kind of all meshed together. Like, if you my best friend, then we all gonna be friends. I'm gonna be friends with your friend. You're gonna be friends with my friends. Like,
Are you quoting from a Biggie song?
no, I'm just saying, like,
We can do this every weekend.
We can do this every weekend.
I just didn't want to cancel somebody that's been there for me through, like, for me, like, my best friend been there for me through some troubling times, and then it's like, oh, all of a sudden I'm about to get married and my husband don't like you, so you cancel. Like, the fuck? Like, I'm not. I just
Nigga,
damn.
You,
like,
real talk though, you might
like, this marriage
ruin your marriage though. You might ruin your marriage.
Yeah.
You might ruin your marriage.
I just feel like if you making me choose somebody that has been there for me and that has played a supportive role, or may have even helped me be to the person that I am, then you don't want me, because you should want with everything that comes with me. And if my best friend's coming with me as a support, then why do I have to cancel that person?
I think the biggest issue is that the person being the opposite sex. Because if it was a male friend, you ain't doing that. So so it goes back full circle. Can y'all be friends? Because it only is like that when the person usually is, or they just mistreating you and you talking about that's my best friend, I'm never gonna let them go. But other than that, in my opinion, it's because it's the opposite sex.
Yeah.
I agree with you, because if the person was gay, then you knew without a shadow of a doubt that this person was gay, you would never trip. You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Really close guy friends, like, I literally go to him for advice for stuff because I be needing the male perspective on things. Like, I don't want to always think one-sided. So I hit him up like, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Let me know how you feel. Like, am I
But your dude gonna tell you, I am your male perspective.
Not when we arguing.
Wait, what?
So, see?
Yeah.
It's sticky.
Is that what he gonna say? That's what you would say, huh?
It's sticky.
If I that's like me doing something and my husband or, you know, boyfriend flip out on me like, that's wrong. And I'm like, dang, you know, I'm not thinking about it from that aspect. My conscious way of thinking may have been off. So I may hit my friend like, hey, this situation happened. Was I wrong? And then they could say, oh, you know, P, you know, that was wrong. Like, coming from a male's perspective, like, this is probably how he took it. Or they could say, oh, no, I don't know, that's kind of pushing it. Or, you know, like, I be like, sometimes you need a little bit of that confirmation on, you know, certain things that you don't know about. Like, I'm not a male. I don't think like a male. So it's like, sometimes I'm not gonna know, you know, if I'm doing something wrong or right.
Boy, do you have any female friends that you talk to pretty regularly, that you call about things?
Talk to regularly, call about things. I don't think so, but I have, you know, friends, but I don't say that I call to advice.
Can't hear you that well.
I said, no, I don't have any female friends that I'll just say call to get advice, like in regards to my relationship like that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I have female friends, yes, but I don't like, oh, let me call this person to, you know, get some advice about this situation. No, I don't. Not saying that I can't make that call. It's just that I'm saying I don't do that all the time.
So are you choosing to not make that call or have those in-depth relationships because you're using wisdom and you know that this wouldn't go over well with your partner? Or is it because you just ain't got no female that you really that cool with that you would even call like that?
No, I do have females I'm cool with that I would call like that, but I don't not really in the situation where I need to. I might
got the game figured out. Like
I don't necessarily need to. Like so, for example, I say my friend Patricia. I call her for business advice because she has multiple successful businesses, and I might call to get some advice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, but I'm not in a situation where I need to call and get relationship advice from nobody. So it's not saying that I don't have that person that I can call, or I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to. Like
so I'm not saying it like
I say early on. My sister's married. You know, she got married
that don't count.
For me. But I'm giving you what I'm saying. So I'm saying in that situation, I've called my sister and got advice, but that's rare. I'm not in a situation where I need to do that.
Okay. What we looking like? I know Paris got to leave pretty soon. Real quick, I want to drop something for you guys to think about. I don't think we gonna really have the time to really unpack it for real today, but I wanna put this out here for you guys. I want to know how you guys feel about roles in relationships. Like, are there certain roles that you feel like a man should be doing or that a woman should be doing in a relationship? I want to know if you guys are big on gender roles, but I want us to have some time to really unpack this. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to kind of just think about it a little bit.
Absolutely.
Okay. So hold that, and I'm gonna need you to, you're gonna have to lay it out next week. Q, how you feel? Just how you feel about it? Yes or no? Like you think it should be gender roles? Yes or no?
I don't think it's no. Yes, gender roles, but not in the thing. Well, like because I'm the girl, I only can do this. Because you're the man, you only can do this type of gender roles. But yes, I do believe in gender roles.
Paris?
Yeah, I can agree with what you said. Like, if you not, can wash dishes, clean the house. Like, I don't think that's specific to a woman. I guess I'm more so. I feel like it's more partnership roles, like what you guys agree upon.
Yeah, Paris, you definitely gonna need a man that's gonna wash some dishes for you, because you don't never wash your dishes. Hater.
I think there are natural. I think there are natural gender roles that just naturally happen. But I do think that there are certain things that, like you said, from a partnership standpoint, that you just tackle and knock out naturally. You know what I'm saying? If you have that approach. But I do think that there are some things that just happen, naturally as gender roles, I feel like. So I think, yeah, 100%.
I'm with it. Well,
Don't ever do your opinion. You think
I'm gonna table mine. I'm gonna table mine for next week, because when we go into it, I wanna go into it. I really do. So I gotta.
Did you guys see? I mean, before we go, I don't have a question. Because we're on Black History. Did you guys see Black Messiah?
Heck yeah.
I can't believe he was 21 years old.
21.
We could never.
Never.
He started at 18, bruh.
We're nowhere near educated or aware enough to even
right.
start.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. You wasn't ready for no man like that at 18. You weren't ready for. Was you ready for a man like that at 18?
I don't know, because our lifestyles is different. I didn't grow up in segregation.
He was. Yes, yeah, man.
I'm just saying.
Grow up in that time.
Those circumstances create different stuff, bro.
Yeah.
They do.
And I don't know no 18-year-old I could have that I would have been following like that.
When you date people that like, because I had an ex who, you know, I mean, he's well established in his life. And I feel like he helped me level up. Cause I'm like, oh, he gave me expectations that I didn't have at first. So dating him kind of made me be like, okay, I gotta get on my shit. I gotta get this together. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And then after, you know, we broke up, I had a different level of expectations for my new mate. Like, oh, well, you gotta have this, and that. Whereas before, I didn't have all that. So I feel like depending on the person, you know, if they make you step up to them when you date them.
See, and but this goes back to my point. I don't think it matters. That's not an age thing.
Yeah, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? He happened to be 21.
I don't think it was an age thing. I'm just thinking.
Well, you brought that up. You said at 22.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's an age thing, but I'm just saying that I feel like it's a rarity. It stuck out to me, right? What he was able to do at that age, it stuck out to me because you don't typically see somebody at 18 years old carrying themselves and doing those type of things. So that stuck out to me, right? So I think that it could potentially be rare that you find somebody, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, the times is different. You know what I'm saying? You have more people in, you know what I'm saying, on that type of wavelength. But I'm saying, I'm not saying that, oh, it has to do with age. I'm just saying the fact that he was that age was alarming, was surprising to me. You feel what I'm saying? Because you don't typically look at somebody in that light and be like, man, you know what I'm saying? He's 18. You would have thought, looking at the movie and not knowing the history, I'm thinking that man 40 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Easily.
We're young. Everybody over here was young.
But yeah, I agree with y'all. Circumstances, the timing. You know what I'm saying? He just saw the death of Martin Luther King. He saw the death of Malcolm X. Like, you know what I'm saying? He right here in the midst of the civil rights movement. If he go to the South, he can't drink from a certain water fountain. Like he was in it. So I mean, you know, I think it was a lot more leaders at that time that were like that. They just didn't all get a story told. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So, but
that was a great movie.
I agree. Check it out, guys, if you haven't. Judas and the Black Messiah, definitely a great movie. I mean, like
shot in Cleveland.
It was shot in Cleveland. Yes, it was. His other movie was shot in Cleveland too. Queen and Slim. Yeah. So they shoot a lot of movies here. But yeah, guys, I gotta go to this doctor's appointment and get this brace for my knee, man. I'm not excited about it, but I just want to get it out the way. So, you know.
All right.
I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.
Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell somebody about the show. We on YouTube, man, so all our episodes will be on YouTube. We're gonna have, it might be special. I'm gonna be in Cleveland, so you're gonna see us all together in the same room next week. So that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But like, subscribe, like to our Facebook channel. Make sure you follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that you receive your podcast, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Man, we really appreciate the support.
If you guys didn't hear him, he said like, subscribe, share.
For sure.
Till next week.
Peace out.
Peace.